Hey, this is Matteo Lane.
I'm Emma Willman.
And this is Inside the Closet.
Inside the Closet.
All right, we're back. Emma, it's another episode. We're doing this on the road, you guys. We're at what university are we?
We're at William Patterson University.
And
Matteo is doing 60 minutes. I'm opening for him. And
I'm probably going to do like 30 minutes followed by like Q&A.
We're each doing 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, about 2 minutes. We're all hyped up on coffee.
So much coffee.
We're with my special guest, one of my best friends, Miss Patti.
Hi, guys.
Which Patti is like a your body language is like a dancer. Are you a dancer?
I was a dancer for a long time.
Knew it.
Patty's an expert on most things we talk about sex, so this will be not to blow your scene.
It's okay.
Blow your cover.
It's okay.
To paint a picture, maybe we can have a picture of Patti too. But like, what type of like Matteo said that. What was the type you were? You're an otter.
I'm sure I would be considered an otter. That's what I get called, as an otter or a faggot.
Because I said that he's like a handsome, funny one.
That's not the animal spectrum.
But so, what kind of animal would you be?
I don't know that I would be an animal.
A swan.
I still think that I guess that I'm a twink. Technically.
Ooh, I love the idea of a twink.
Maybe I'm a twink, but I feel like I'm aging out of a twink. But I also have a mustache. But I'm 5'4", so I feel like it's a height thing.
The way I describe Patti is imagine Ariel with a mustache. That's it.
That's pretty accurate.
That's it.
I love the idea of a twink because if I was a man, I'd be a gay man, and I'd like.
Emma wants her fantasy is to like. That's it. To fuck she wants to fuck a really femme twink.
Not make Patti too uncomfortable right now because we're locked in a room with no windows, and that's why you're here, Patti.
Emma, this does not make Patti uncomfortable. If anything, we are now in his wheelhouse. So we'll start with you first, but just say what it is tell them your fantasy, which I don't even think our viewers, our listeners, all 10 of them, know.
We were trying to figure out ways like where it would be like, in what situation would I ever have sex with a guy? And I was thinking that it would be like, it'd have to be like a very effeminate guy, and he'd have to be in some kind of like sex contraption where he was just his butt up and he was like locked in and he had a skirt on and he was like totally clean shaven, and I would just flip the skirt up and all I could see was his ass, and I got to like kind of like smack him around and call him a bitch or a faggot, or I got to use like feminizing terms for him, and he'd
not too complex, real simple,
and he'd have to call me like daddy and a king, and then I'd fuck him.
I don't know about that. I do have like a slight fascination with sleeping with a woman. Like I never have. I can maybe count on one hand how many women I've wanted to sleep with. But there have been. Yeah, I actually do.
And
I sort of have this thing that before I die, I want to sleep with a girl, maybe just like once. And I've had a couple. There've been 2. No, seriously, dead ass.
Because I'm curious, like, what do you picture happening?
A lot of crying and braiding of hair.
a lot of fumbling. A lot of being like, "Are you okay? Is this right? Does this feel good? Am I doing it right?"
So you would like get your penis hard and then put it in the vagina?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, once upon a time when I was a teenager, I was making out with this girl, and I was like,
faggot.
Yeah, I was like playing with her titties and whatnot.
Nice.
I got a boner. It happened.
Well, it's not like you're repelled by women, you know? I mean...
Wait, that is a great... Did you ever have a boner when you were making out with your girlfriend at Michael's?
Never. Oh, I worked at Michael's I made out with Francesca. No.
You never had a boner at all?
No. I never got that far with women. I'm still like a gold star gay.
No one tried to give you a blowjob?
No.
I don't know. So you got an erection?
I did, yeah. I mean, but then I tried to, like, I ventured down to, like, touch her pussy. And that's when it derailed. And I was like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of this. This is making me uncomfortable. So I don't know what would happen, but I definitely know that there are a couple of girls that I'm like, I could see this happening. But they'd have to be smaller than me.
And have a big dick.
Yeah, big dick.
And I'm fine. No, honestly, like, I think I could make it work. I would like to see what it's...
I bet you I could pleasure a woman.
I wish everyone could have seen Patty's hand movements when he was describing going down.
I was going to say, how did our cast turn into sex cast, by the way? We opened off the gate with you smacking a femboy, calling him a faggot.
But his hand movements he did jazz hands. He was like, I went down there to see what was going on, and then he did jazz hands.
So I'm going to go down on you and all that jazz. Why are you singing?
I feel like that's what it would be. It would be me being just like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Turn into Nathan Lane in the birdcage.
Basically.
By the way, we should describe, before we continue into sex, we right now, the reason why it sounds kind of like ta-na-na-na, is because we are in a small, when they said green room, they're not kidding around.
It's literally a green room. No windows.
I'm waiting for it. It's like it's like the Land of Oz, the Emerald City.
Yep. But I've definitely been in weirder green rooms. What do you think the weirdest green room you've ever been in?
The weirdest green room I did this show in, where the hell was it? It was not Utah or Nevada. It was in a mountain. Fuck, I remember. Anyways, the guy who was like, anytime someone's booking a room and they also host the shows, it's a problem.
Right.
And he started out real friendly, like, oh, hi, how are you, man? Like, that was his voice, and so already I hated him. And he brought us backstage and showed us everything, and I kept asking. I was like, okay, well, where's the green room? And he never answered me. And I said, where's the green room? I asked 5 times. He never answered me. And so for 5 days, we had to sit backstage, like next to like where you walk out, so we couldn't talk, and you're stuck with him, and you're on like a weird wooden chair. The last day, I mistakenly went to another room because I thought it was the bathroom. It was the green room.
Did he just not want you to go in there?
Yeah.
Why?
This man was a true psycho. I swear to God, I was trying to get to my airplane, and it was a snowstorm. I'm like, he summoned this snowstorm to keep me here.
Because he also could have just gone into the green room with you.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have wanted that.
Right, and he knew that.
But this green room this is where we are right now, before we venture back into sex. I mean, have we turned into the sex cast?
I'm okay with that, but so...
Because someone's like, what do you two talk about? And I was like, sex.
Sex and problems. But that would be the name of my album, actually. Sex and Problems. But I had because when we were last recording, I had such a bad week, and then the week has now been on an upswing. But sex can be a force for good. This is my transition into the weekend that I just had, because I had sex this weekend that made me feel more comfortable it made me feel like okay with my sexuality. It made me feel like my sex this weekend was so empowering. Like, sometimes in the past I've had sex, like, have you ever had sex with someone where it's like, you know, I'll get it turned on by something being kind of wrong, so I'll like have sex with a person, then right after I'll feel like really bad, like I'll be like, oh, that wasn't good, like bad in the sense like that person was like evil, I wish I hadn't engaged in that, but sometimes that can make the sex more fun. It
always makes the sex more fun.
But this sex was absolutely amazing, and I felt like better about the world as a person after this weekend. This was amazing.
See, I had such good sex this weekend with this guy that every once in a while I hook up with. He's married, but they have an open relationship, whatever. That it made me want to be in a relationship. I was like, oh, I can't be doing this anymore. This is it. I need to go. I need to be in a relationship. And then I was texting this guy who I was having sex with, and I was just trying to basically get a point. I was trying to get across the point that I want to be in a relationship.
But I feel that way every time I have sex with someone, and it's good sex. Like, it's over, and I'm like, I really would like to come home and like have that all the time. But the reality is every time I have good sex, I'm kind of like, you need to leave.
Yeah, I mean, there's one guy that I would want to stick around, but he's got a boyfriend.
Do you want them to leave because you feel like, is it like a fear of intimacy, or is it you want them to leave because people you have good sex with sometimes you don't like talking to as much?
It's probably a number of things, but I think I have a very eclectic taste, and so a lot of the times I will sleep with someone out of sheer curiosity. Like, there's something like I may be physically, there's something about them that's either their personality, or there's something that I find to be physically attractive about them, or just some weird quirk that I'm like, I want to see what your dick looks like, or I want to know what you're like in bed. And
he's really into Captain Hook.
See, I kind of wish I was more like that. I feel so like guarded about like sexuality stuff that like I get so like cautious with like engaging with people sexually.
I do too. It's almost like the sex part. I'm also like zero, or I'm on nothing or all. I'm not going to sit and make out with you. I have to have full blown, like I can't just, I'm like chupacabra in the room. You know what I mean? Like the lights go dark and there's 2 red eyes and they're from me. Like, it just, I don't know what happens. Or I'm like, Matteo, it's fine to just make out and then just like rest, but it's like the lights go out, it's like the chupacabra, like.
See, I would think it'd be harder for a guy just to make out because your penises would get hard.
Well, that's fine, but I'm such an extremist in every part of my life that I just need a boyfriend.
I actually, I'm totally okay with, making out and just, giving someone head. A lot of the times I don't even really want to have sex with them because I'm it's too much work. As a bottom, it's too much work for someone I don't give a shit about.
I'm also okay with just having some normal sex.
I am. Maybe I'm lazy, though.
My name's John, and I'm the lesbian character from Piano's Explosion, and I've come over here to this wonderful podcast, Inside the Closet. Emma, how are you?
I'm doing good, too, and I also, I had such a good time talking to the person this weekend, too, which was so refreshing. It was like a magical weekend.
Did you figure out what lesbian sex was yet?
Not exactly. No.
Because I listened back to the podcast, I was laughing out loud because a lesbian was good. She had to Google what lesbian sex was.
What?
That's how elusive it is. We also got to understand, I always like expressing myself, I consider myself very, gender wiggly. So I
Excuse? Like the Wigglies, remember them?
Kind of like when I have sex, one of my preferred methods of sexual expression is I like wearing a strap on and being feeling more like a guy or a boy.
Like a dom top. You want to be like a dom top.
I don't mind if the girl takes control of the situation, but I still want to
You want to be in control.
I don't mind if they take control, but I want to still be the guy in the situation. If it was if you're a guy, you could still have your girlfriend ride you and choke you, but then you're still the guy. But then I'd want to be able to flip them over and take control.
See, I would rather someone else take control. It's because I'm lazy.
I don't think it's being lazy. It's what?
No, I'm lazy.
Oh, well, because let me tell you this.
A lazy chupacabra.
When you have, I think that when someone's a really good lover, it makes me think higher of them as a person too. Because
no, because I think the opposite. Sometimes I think the best sex is idiots.
And sometimes the best sex can be with. I've noticed maybe it's for women, with evil, sadistic women. But this.
What is that? Is there something about them that it's what is it that makes them better at it?
Because the ones that I'm thinking of were literally whores, literally professional sex workers.
Yeah,
so
Emma's had quite a life. No, literally sex workers.
But this person, I haven't had. But
Patty's got comments.
This was better than that because this actually made me feel good as a person. This sex this past weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel the exact same way. I feel every time I have really good sex with someone, I was this is bad news. Because chances are they're probably having as much sex as I am. Or
yeah, where'd you learn that little trick?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
You're a pro, aren't you? And it fucks you up because you'll be how's the sex with Dita? And you're they were fine. They're not a professional, but they were fine. Have you had sex with sex workers?
I mean, yes, yeah. Yeah, I have. And it is really good sex. But it's also something about... I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a performer or something, but I'm really good at, acting in situations. So sometimes I can act like I'm really into what is happening.
My friendship.
Yeah, exactly. Which can be kind of misleading, but it can make for really good sex sometimes. It's very passionate and feels very connected, but sort of isn't. That's why afterwards I'm okay, now you have to go because we actually have nothing in common.
Well, Will Miles taught me something where he said that whenever you have sex with someone, you have to go suspend your belief and pretend that you're already in love with them, and then it makes the sex amazing if you just for that moment pretend you're in love with them.
But
that's interesting.
And that's probably why I feel so lonely afterwards, because that's what I do 95% of the time.
Well, I have to say, being an actress has always helped me when I was having sex. But the problem was, after I had my hip replaced, and then my knee replaced, and then my other knee replaced.
So many knees.
And then my other knee replaced. And I had my ankle twisted in my fight with my sister Lorna. Sex isn't so much fun.
What's your favorite position?
Lying down in a hospital bed.
With a martini. We gotta tell them our idea for a business. We actually had an idea for a business and we don't want to say
I don't think we should share this.
No?
Maybe next cast.
Okay, never mind. It's for bigger oranges. Called Moranges.
It's about cutting fruit. We'll get to that later because we're taking it to Shark Tank.
Yeah, it's on.
I want to tell you a story about a young girl who became a waitress and took a loan. And from that loan, she became known as... I'm out.
Have you heard Matteo's impression of Barbara from Shark Tank?
I haven't.
It's very good.
There's a guy that I really want to have sex with. We've hooked up once, but, he's so deviant. He's so sexually, he's just, fucking all the time. but there's something I'm attracted about it. But like, the best of me is staying away from him. But like, it's like this. You're like drawn to what's bad for you. But I desperately want to go have sex with him. But then I'm like, no, this is a horrific idea, and he's also just a terrible person.
I was gonna say, do you like talking to him?
No, he's insufferable.
Yeah, see,
but I know that the sex would be amazing.
Right. My vote is, if you don't like talking to someone, just like it's not worth it, because it's like at this point we're old enough where we've like had enough sex that like when you just don't like talking to someone, it's just like a waste of your time. Because when you actually like talking to someone, it makes everything feel really good too. And you're like, ooh, I get to...
But I like talking to my friends. I haven't found a guy that I want to, like, talk to in a minute.
But there's got to be one out there.
Somewhere out there, theoretically, there is that guy, but, like, where?
Someday.
And in the interim...
Right.
It's like, but in the interim, I still need sex.
Right.
You know what I mean?
In the meantime.
So it's like, no.
Well, I met a guy today that has a boyfriend, so that's another thing that's happening all the time.
How'd you meet this guy?
I had this job I did. But there's clear, obvious, like, flirting with each other.
And how did he let you know he had a boyfriend?
When he did 3 taps, that meant that he's in an open relationship.
3 taps?
Underneath the bathroom stall.
No.
I'm teasing him. We're talking to like normal human beings.
Oh.
He said he briefly mentioned his boyfriend, but that didn't stop him from getting my phone number.
Right.
Through Instagram, I might add, which is like absolutely when you're like, oh, DM me for your number. That's 100. I want to fuck.
Listen, he was fucking gorgeous, and I was like, like I was just like, I was really into it. But I mean, who knows? I'm right now. I'm at this phase in my life where I'm gonna try and find a boyfriend.
Now, what's the plan gonna be to try to do that? Like,
put a message in a bottle, go to the river, throw it, and wait for the best.
Go down to the river
any
day
now. Now, Patti is from the South, so how was it? Like, how were your parents when you came out to them?
Oh my God, Patty's mom loves him.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I grew up doing musical theater, so I was actually on the national tour of King and I, and we were in Houston,
Who
Texas.
did you play?
The only white kid in the entire show.
Oh, and the son?
Yes.
Mother, I'm afraid. Whenever I feel afraid, I hold the little dumpy kid from the movie. Remember him?
Well, I wasn't dumpy.
Mother. I mean, he was just. I hated that. Not you, but like he also played the dog in Annie. But
that's true. That was my
really?
Yes, that was my very first role ever.
Just like on all fours, just like
in a suit that was like
his teacher knew he was a bottom.
Yeah.
And I showed Matteo. Actually, I have this like. Dog suit on, but just a full beat.
Full lipstick.
Like
I
lipsticks,
you had
lashes,
to have that little gay
works.
face sticking out somewhere.
Oh, 100, girl. I had to serve the children.
But I remember, because I love The King and I, which now as an adult I look back and it's just one problem after the next. But the music's good. But I remember I hated that kid. Mother, I'm afraid, Mother. I thought, that's your son? What a boob. He was such a boob. Everything, she's like, what was his name?
Louis.
Yeah, Louis, oh Louis, Mother. Like, it just...
How did you get the audition? Like, how did you get into theater?
Sucked the director's dick.
Because, also, he was coming out of, like, the South.
Yeah.
Mississippi?
Yeah.
That's the fucking South.
Like,
yeah, you're
South.
besides
That's
Arkansas, it's a fight between Mississippi and Arkansas for, like, the most South.
Yeah, well, I had the director I was working with that cast me as the dog. It's like, this is a talented dog.
Yeah.
And she submitted me for a show, and I ended up booking that show, and then I got an agency, and then it all sort of just, like, snowballed from there.
How old were you, though?
I was 12 when I did my first show.
From Mississippi. So were your parents...
My first professional show. Yeah.
And were your parents like, okay, you want to be in musical theater, we support that, and then we were like, and I'm gay?
No, it was like... So I went on my, like, first 2 national tours, and then on the third one was when I finally decided to come out just to my mother, because I thought she could keep the secret. And I was like...
I've met his mother. There's no way.
Yeah. So I was like, by the way, I'm gay. And she just looked at me and said, I know.
Oh, see, I don't know how my mom didn't say that.
What did your mom say when you came out?
Well, so I came out to her to silent meditation retreat. So, like, we were at silent meditation.
What?
I have the silent meditation retreat, silent lunch, and I said, I've said this story before, but it was like, we were sitting across from each other, and I said, I have to tell you something. She said, shh, silent lunch. And I was like, I gotta talk to you. She goes, shh, silent lunch. I go,
she knew it was coming.
I said, since I've been in college, she goes, shh, I've been dating women. And she went, ah! And then I went, shh, silent lunch. And she went, you little asshole. But then afterwards, she was like, because I said, tell me how you're feeling. Like, this is when people are like, oh, my parents aren't okay with it. I feel so weird about that. I'm like, I totally get it, because I was like, Mom, tell me how you're feeling. If you have a big problem with this, like, let me know. Like, I just want to talk about it. And she was like, all I can say is, I guess I'm surprised. And I was like, but I was always dressing up like a boy as a little kid. Like, I'd be like, Katie, my sister, I'd be like, Katie, let's play a game. We're brothers. Or Katie, let's play a game. You're my wife. Like, so I was always playing that game. And I would play a husband, and I would, like, poke her with a stick, and I'd be like, wife, get me beer. That was, so I wasn't even, I wanted to be a straight couple.
So you were a misogynist child.
Yes, and my mom would be like, where did you learn this behavior? Where did you get this? She's like a total feminist, my dad's super progressive, and then you've got me in the yard, like, poking my sister with a stick, going like, wife, like, just made no sense. But she said she was surprised, so that's great that your mom wasn't surprised, because I don't know what my mom was thinking to be surprised.
I had an older gay brother, and so my mother must have just assumed that all boys, well, I guess they all love dressing in dresses.
Right.
Because my cousin's also gay, so she must have been very confused about young boys, you know? Because she came up with mostly women in her family. But I would pretend to be Storm, so I'd take a cape and tie it around me, and my cousin Brian was Jubilee, so he'd take my mom's yellow rubber gloves. We'd run around the house, and I'm like, Storm! You know, and it's just like, I wonder what she thought I was singing to the birds. There's a video of my dad ice fishing, and I'm in the background holding my pole, being Maleficent. So my dad's like, I got myself an 8-point, whatever. And I'm like, forest of thorns shall be his tomb, born through the skies of the... Cut the video. And it's like, all right. I mean, it just was obvious from day one. But
there's video of me, like, trying to play softball and trying to play t-ball, like, and just not giving a single fuck. And I used to dress up in my grandmother's, like, slips and heels and put on all of her costume jewelry, so, like, it shouldn't have been a surprise. But it's like, what's really crazy is, like, she was okay with it initially, but then my dad was like, oh, but I think it's just a phase because you're around all these other gay men. So then they sent me to a psychiatrist for a little bit, and then they came back around. It was a really weird thing. They were like, we know, but we're also just going to get you checked out, but now we're cool.
Did your parents have gay friends?
Well, my mother had gay friends in high school, and we also had...
See, that's fucking progressive. Because, like, my mom didn't have that at all. Because, like, people weren't... I don't think... Was this in Mississippi, too?
Yeah. She was born and raised in Mississippi.
Wow. Because my mom was born and raised, like, Boston, Massachusetts area, and she had gay friends in college, but, like, one or two.
Yeah, my mom and Aunt Cindy were like, oh, because we're from Chicago, and they were like, oh, we never knew why so-and-so never dated women. Now we know. Now
all of a sudden, it all makes sense.
Well, now my Aunt Cindy, because she has a gay son, is convinced she has gaydar. So everywhere we go, that person's gay, this person's gay. My uncle was like, please, Cindy, not everyone's gay. Right. I know gay people. I gave birth to one.
Right. I make them. Right.
She is. She's making them. Well, we think that the gay gene in our family, because there's so many gays, we think it came from my grandpa's brother.
No, it does not work like that.
Yes, it does. Because
I mean, it's on my dad's side of the family, too.
Well,
like,
listen to my theory.
Here's
my theory.
Here's my theory. Like it's like having a big toe.
No,
it is. It's like a recessive trait.
All right, this is my theory. Okay, so my mom's one out of 5 are Mexican-Italian, right? Her dad's Mexican, my grandpa's Mexican. So, okay. Then my grandma divorced him, remarried a Sicilian, had 2 more kids. Okay. 3 out of the 5 boys from the Mexican side, gay. The rest of the boys on the Sicilian side, which are 4, not gay. And my Aunt Cindy's convinced that her dad's brother, was gay because he owned a women's salon, did regional theater.
No.
Listen, I'm not done.
Wait.
I'm not done.
Oh, wait,
I'm
yes,
not done.
actually, yes.
Owned a women's salon.
Yes.
Now, here's the kicker. Ready? Did regional theater, sang all that jazz, was beaten up constantly in high school and had to have his brother protect him because he was made fun of so much. Good!
You're right.
That's gay. So my Aunt Cindy's like, I think he was gay. Not to, like, throw in all the stereotypes, but if it's the fucking 40s and 50s, that's all we have to work with.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, we think he's gay. Because everyone's gay in my family. We thought my cousin Kelly was a lesbian for a minute.
Because also the other thing, too, is back then it wouldn't necessarily them being like, oh, he's gay. They would have been like, he has traits that are, like, feminine. And then they would think that he's acting like a girl, or like, and that would be a sign of weakness, and then he would get made fun of for that. So, like, even if they didn't know it was gay, they'd be like, he's acting like a woman.
Get him!
Yeah, very bad. So what did the psychologist say when you went?
Well, actually, it's weird.
Patrick, I'd like to have a discussion with you.
Yeah, it was weird. They were like, we're going to reevaluate your ADHD is actually how they got me in the room to start with.
That is...
Yeah, because I was like, I was heavily medicated all through high school. And then I would sit down and they would be like...
What do you think of this dick?
So,
How do you feel about that?
So the psychiatrist was like...
Can I ask you a question? What do you think of this? Just pulls out a cucumber.
Wait a minute.
No, he was just like, so your parents say that you're gay. And I was just like...
Oh my God.
Up way too early in the morning, just like not ready to deal with this bullshit. And I actually think I like pulled out a line from like Queer as Folk. You know, like when Justin gets like
I've never seen the show
and was like, oh, okay, so Justin is like, he's like the young twink like in the show, and he comes on and he has this moment with his mother where he's like, I like dick, I like sucking dick, like that kind of whole thing. I think I basically just memorized and repeated this to the psychiatrist because I just sat there not speaking like for sessions on end because I was like, I don't know why we're having this conversation.
I had to say the same thing to my father. I love sucking dick. Yeah, it's sort of, we related about that.
Did you feel like they were trying to figure out if you were gay just so, like, to see if it was something you were confused about, or they were trying to do it because they were trying to change you? Because it could be some other, like, thing going on, so, like, you get confused and you're like, oh, I'm gay, and it's really, like, this is a bad analogy, but I used to shoplift because I, like, wanted, like, help about other things. So it's like maybe they thought, or were they, like, really trying to, like, switch it up?
No, I definitely think that's what it is. I mean, because they feel kind of bad about it, and I think that they just wanted me to be sure, because I think in their mind, they were like, it's such a difficult life, we just want him to make sure that there wasn't some sort of outside influence or something like that. In retrospect, I think they were doing it to protect me. There was never any moment where the guy was like, so have you thought about sleeping with girls? He was just listening.
He pulls out a fish and asks if you like the smell.
Yeah, oh, come on. I've never... Actually, I was with one person...
I'm just joking. Is that a bad joke? Am I a terrible feminist?
One time I was with someone that had, like, a very strange
So it's
smell.
a real thing.
It was...
How do you keep it fresh?
Let me tell you.
Febreze?
I've never been with people where, like, that's a problem, but this one motherfucker, I'll never forget it. I was in college, and I remember being like, something's not right. But you want the person you're with to feel, like, comfortable and good, and it was like the first time we had hooked up and the last. No, I ended up hooking up with her a couple times because I was like, oh, maybe it'll change, but there had to be like some kind of pH balance, like something was not right. Like it was tough.
My friend Meredith had a yeast infection one time and put garlic in her vagina to like fix it or something, and she goes, now my breath smells like garlic.
I have been with women who have had that, and that was not half as bad as whatever was going on with the person with the pH problem.
But how do you normally, how do you keep it so fresh and so clean?
I think if people are just like healthy and like bathe regularly, then they should be good. Like if there's like a funny taste to someone, then that means like something is like fucked up within.
Maybe she was just like running and there was like extra sweat.
No, because I've been with people like on a hot summer day. I've been with people where it's like all kinds of temperatures.
I climbed a mountain.
I think I've hooked up with people like maybe like I feel like I'm getting some kind of sauna memories.
Sauna memories?
I think so.
In the sauna?
Can I be honest? I'm still the only gay who's horrified to walk into.
I used to drink a lot.
Okay, fair, but like you think or you know.
Wait, can we say that how those paramedics, when the paramedics came, because when I drank.
If you didn't listen to our last episode, or a couple episodes back, Emma got drunk and fell downstairs.
Yes, but the paramedics were not needed. The paramedics were called for no reason.
Why'd you bring that up?
I don't know. I just thought of it. I don't know. The sauna made me think of it. The paramedics were.
Are you mad? Do you feel bad that I made jokes about you falling down the stairs?
No, I didn't even feel like you made jokes. I thought it was just.
I didn't make jokes, but I'm bringing it up to try and make it like a conversation. But then I feel bad if I'm here right now apologizing if I've stepped over the line.
I felt comfortable talking about it because
I didn't do anything to step over the line.
Because the other thing too was, for me talking about it, like it's like good to get it out in the open, that it holds me more accountable too, being like, yeah, like if I when I start drinking, then I can go down this path where, like, I ran into someone last night who was there when I fell down the stairs. He was like, I was so worried about you. He's like, do you remember falling? And I was like, I remember the splat. He was like, there was a splat, and he goes, but there was also a flip. And I was like, oh. And he goes, he was like, I had seen you about an hour before and you were fine. I was like, yeah, I had taken my Vyvanse. I had taken my Vyvanse, which is ADD medicine, and then I had drank the 3 vodka sodas really quick. And when you take your ADD medicine, like, you can't feel the vodka hitting you because you're like kind of on an upper. So he's like, you were fine, and then you were going down the stairs to your set, and he's like, and you were moving very fast. He's like, I've seen you move before, but he was like, you were really flying. And he's like, and then as you were moving so fast down the stairs where people were trying to be like, he's like, and it was only like the beginning, someone stuck their head out the door, opened the door to say something, and all in the same motion of your fast movement, you like turned to say hi. And he's like, and then you flipped and you actually missed half the stairs, hit them, fell down, flipped again, splat. And I was like, wow. And then he goes, and then you jumped up after just totally splatting. And he goes, and the only reason you're probably really okay is you were so drunk, your body was relaxed. He goes, you jumped up and kind of stretched your neck as though it was some kind of athletic endeavor, and then went on stage. And I was like, yeah, I remember that.
And then you went on stage. Then you're like, ready to go.
Ready to go. He's like, we were like, oh my God. And he's like, and you like did the neck crack thing, and we're like, Like, it was like, it was probably the most lesbian moment of my fucking life. But a flip, I'm not agile. Like, that's not like...
I would give anything to watch you fall down.
For me to flip, that's crazy. I could see either one of you two doing a flip way more than me. You guys are both like very like athletic.
Well, let me just say that when you text Emma, you say, "Where are you?" Her first response is waddling around the city.
I waddle, I trot, I'm confused. It's not like a graceful thing. So for me to flip is like, what power did I...
You don't waddle, and you're not... What are you talking about?
I feel like I like saunter around. I definitely don't flip. Like, when he said that, I was trying not to be like... He was like, there was a flip, and I was like, oh, wow. He was like, it was really crazy to witness, and I was like, I'm so sorry you had to see that. He was like, it was really bizarre. He was like, because he was like, the whole thing... Like,
Who was this?
Des Bishop. Such a nice guy.
Oh, I love Des.
Such a nice guy.
He messaged me, too.
Did he? God damn it. He's really nice. He's classy. He's, like, really well-dressed.
He came into my green room at Colbert.
He's gorgeous, by the way.
Oh, he's so hot. It's distracting.
He's gorgeous. He's where's he from?
He's from Ireland, but also China.
Oh, he's like the hot, like.
Oh yeah, that Patti met him. Patti was in Colbert with me.
Yeah,
he's hot.
He's pretty attractive. He sat down next to us, and I was like, "Hey, Zaddy."
He didn't know how to talk to gay people. He called our friend Naomi a tranny.
No.
What did he say
Bob
to her?
The tranny. He's like, "Oh, you're friends with Bob the tranny, right?"
No. And we were like,
and Naomi and I were like.
Drag
Naomi Smalls, who's like a huge drag queen.
He said Bob.
He didn't know. He was.
Right,
he had no idea. And that's the thing too. Is like, I'm not. You're not. We can't get mad at him. It was like he didn't know what
he meant. Well,
also, tranny is something they say in the UK, or at least I learned from big.
Now, I gotta tell you guys this.
I'm not saying it's okay. I'm just saying maybe that was like a mistake.
I read something about women who, like cis women, like women with vaginas. I have no idea where the word cis.
Oh, bio queens.
Bio queens, but then they're doing drag.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about that?
I think
I have zero opinion on it.
I mean, I think drag has become like such a broad thing these days, like especially with RuPaul's Drag Race and like whatever. I think it just opened the door for a lot of people to sort of experience it. I think at this point it's just an art form, and I think whoever wants to participate is like totally welcome to participate, you know? I mean, it's about the performance aspect really than it is about like being male or female or whatever that.
And then I guess if there's cis women, then it just doesn't have the same like transgressive quality, because it's like it like goes in quote unquote with their gender norms. Because there's something so empowering when it's like someone who identifies as a man then wearing a dress and doing drag.
It also used to be illegal.
Right.
That's the difference.
And it was never illegal.
It was something that was... I mean, so yeah, all art changes.
Because for a straight woman to do it, it's more just like them being very exaggerated. But maybe it is progressive in a way, because it's like, no, there's no thing that a woman should wear.
Lady Gaga is like a female drag queen. I mean, if you think about it, you know, it's like she's putting on a performance art and she's, you know, exploiting what the quote unquote what it means to be feminine and a female in society, and you know, so in a way, her, Madonna, Liza, Cher, you know, they're all sort of in their way their own drag queens. Which drag queens look to those women to get their own inspiration.
Now, and would they be able to compete in something like RuPaul's Drag Race?
Well, no, I think although it would be great if Cher did go on RuPaul's Drag Race. Hi, my name is Cher, and I'm old, and I don't know, my bone density's up to snuff, but I'm on Boniva, and I want to be RuPaul's Drag Race.
Because how does he do it? How does Matteo do it?
Do what? I think I'm doing a bad job.
No.
Patti looked at me in disgust.
No, all your voices I think are so good. Sometimes I get biased, like when it's like a friend of mine, like Carly Aquilino, I feel like anything she could do, I'd be like, I love it, it's so great. And then same with you, so like maybe I'm like, I get confused, but I feel like you're so good at the voices.
I do good impressions.
You do a good voice, and he does. Wasn't that a good share?
It was.
That was a good share.
It was a lazy share.
I'm around you so much that I'm immune to it because it's kind of like normal for him to just like switch in and out of voices. So it's just not a thing.
I think I think I'm a psycho, and I think that like in my head I'm normal, but to other people like they're uncomfortable.
Oh, this was one thing that feared me. So because I was feeling like comfortable.
You flipped over more stairs?
No, not even that in the slightest. But like I was feeling comfortable like this weekend, like having like sex. Like I was just feeling so good about it. And we had like great conversation. Like it was just like it was such a treat for me. But
such a treat.
For me to connect sexually with someone, like she made some comment where she was like, "Oh, you're in a different city all the time," like implying like maybe I would like meet a lot of people. And I was like, look, when we had sex the first time, I said thank you. Like, you think I'm hooking up with a lot of people?
Yeah, we gotta go back to that. That's who's in the middle of sex? In the middle of sex says thank you.
Towards the end. But it's because back in the day...
Before or after you orgasmed?
I don't remember.
It was before.
Like, right before?
No.
Like, and by the way, thank you.
But it was... But back in the day, I was, like, big pimpin'. But then recently, the more into entertainment I get,
I bet you never got any of this out of it. We took a car right here. I bet you never saw any of this in Emma as we drove up here.
I mean, no, not yet. No, not yet.
I used to be way big pimpin', but then as I got, I'm serious. I was killing it. But then as I got more into entertainment, I like closed myself off because I already share myself so much. So then I'm like, you know what I mean? Or like, so me one-on-one trying to be intimate is like a whole shebang. But I was getting really comfortable with this person, like sex texting, feeling really good. And then I sexted something really like. And one reason, like when I first am having sex in the beginning, I'll usually be like, although I haven't had sex like this in a long time, but I'll be like, "Are you okay?" Because I like to get pretty rough. But in the past, girls would be like, "Stop asking if I'm okay," and I'm like, "Oh, it's because it's about to go down in a minute." So I'm just checking. You cool with me grabbing your wrist? You cool with this? Because I'm gonna like call you a slut and hit your face pretty soon. But like I have to get yes. Like,
have you ever spit in someone?
Of course.
I'm into that.
I'll spit on anything, but I don't like spitting in the mouth.
That's what I was going to ask. If you ever spit in the mouth.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I don't like spitting in the mouth.
But
I don't mind it.
But don't tell me you're going to do it. Like, it has to be like an eye contact, non-verbal cue for you to spit in my mouth. And I'm 100%. Into it. But don't, like, hock a loogie in my mouth. Just let it drool.
Yeah, if you... Just Let It Drool is going to be the name of this episode. For sure. But 100%.
I think I'm living quite a boring life.
But this is what happened, so I put myself
Emma, your position in this chair. Emma's about to physically strike me. You are like a gargoyle in this chair. You are perched up and ready to go.
I'm about to do a flip.
You're about to do a flip again.
I would imagine if I did a flip and you're the big...
I don't see why you wouldn't.
That lesbian and the flipping. But that lesbian is flipping all over the place.
There was a comedian who used to end all his sets in New York by doing a flip.
Really?
Yeah.
Was he funny? He had to do the flip to end it. So he's just flipping off stage. But when I was sexting something dirty, and then
can you imagine? Thank you. I'll be here all night.
But I was
Samus or something.
Sexting something dirty, and then she said pause, and then I got really scared because I was like, oh no, I like put myself out there too much with saying something dirty. But the pause was actually I listened to your podcast, and I'm like, and it's over because. Who's gonna want to?
Well, that's why I'm afraid to share stuff now because like the one of the sex I got last night.
What was your sex? I just did a flip. Let's let Matteo keep some sense of a personal life. So you don't.
No, they're all gonna hate me because they want to know.
But in some way, it's like refresh. I mean, it's like if someone wants to hear anything, then they could.
I have said things that would make your skin peel off.
I know. Me too. Me too. We should probably get ready for our show.
Yeah, we're at 40 minutes,
yeah.
So let's nip this in the butt.
And
Patti, I can't believe we're ending it this way.
Is there any place that people can find you online?
Yeah, at Legal Minor on Instagram.
Patty's got. You need to go to his Instagram.
I'll follow him right now.
Should we end any particular way? I feel like we were getting into a rage, but we have to go soon.
We gotta go. The show starts in like 10 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here.
Make sure to write us more questions.
Yeah, please write us more questions.
The email.
The email is insidetheclosetpodcast@gmail.com. And let us know who you guys want us to interview, too. I want to interview a therapist.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.